Waiting for my slow internet. All righty then. Awesome. What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. We are back with another edition of our stay-at-home open mic presented by the Barbed Open Mic series. My name is Richie Marrufo, and I will be your host today. I'm also the project director of Barbed Open Mic. We are based out of El Paso, Texas, here in the U.S. Southwest, where we do have live open mics and shows and poetry events. But since the pandemic, we've been doing online shows every single Monday now for 100+ episodes. It's been a while, and it's great because we're still getting new people joining us, and we're still getting new work. And this Monday we are a little heavy-hearted. A lot of us were able to say goodbye to our friend Donna Snyder. Nothing but great words. I mean, if you go back to any episode, her name is dropped. And this whole weekend, we kind of got to see all the respect and love that people had for her. And, we're just glad that she had her own terms. She had her book release, and we're able to celebrate her life. So even in today, we continue that tradition, and sharing our work and performing in front of everyone. We continue that legacy. So Donna Snyder, we will miss you. Rest in power, poet. And, we only hope we can keep you, do you honor by continuing to share our words and creating. So without further ado, we do have a pretty full list. It has kind of been a while since it's been that full. So if this is your first time checking out an online open mic, welcome. Shout out to all the people watching live right now. And if you're not watching live, you're watching the replay, still shout out to you. If you're an EPCC student, I'll be shouting directions kind of throughout the show on how you can get access to that QR code. But for now, just let us know where you're listening in from. Leave a comment or participate in a live chat, like where are you listening in from? And as always, just tell us who you love. What lines hit you a certain way? Did you learn anything? Who made you feel something? It's okay to cry, right? You can laugh, when it's right to laugh and all that. And so we're just gonna fill everything tonight. We have a full list. Everyone gets about 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing. Without further ado, we're going to just go ahead and kick things off, as we often do, and we often have done in New York City with our friend Deadpan Lizzie. Hey, welcome back to the show. Good to have you. Go and take it away.
Beanie blessings. Yes, we are grieving the loss of a very important member of our community, Donna Snyder, who ran Tumblewords for 27 years. She was an advocate of the arts, a teacher in the LGBTQ community, which I learned this year. And I asked Donna to submit for the anthology I curated out loud, and she did. She was an out and proud bisexual woman in the El Paso community. And when she submitted it, she was hesitant because she said it was so dark. And I said, when I read your poem and you emailed me, I didn't feel that way. I was so struck and moved and felt it had so many powerful layers and messages, and anyone that's familiar with her writing and her spirit knew that about her. And we actually spoke on the phone the day she almost pulled the poem, and I said, I hope you change your mind, and she didn't. She allowed us to publish it in this beautiful anthology with 50 other brave LGBTQ artists and poets from around the world. So I'm not going to read my own poem tonight. I'm going to read the poem Donna has in the book. If it's not the last anthology she's a part of, it's certainly one of the last. And we're very honored at Red or Green Books to have her a part of our publication, and her bio is in it as well. So it's called The Desiccated Shroud, Nothing But Ash. She stands on tiptoe on top of a listing chair, hair in her mouth dirty as the air in her lungs. A floor wobbles as she hears something fall. The smell of despair, unmistakable as gravity. She wriggles and writhes, worms in a corpse. The desert dappled with shadow under a dying sun. She counts all her sins while following her breath. Clouds her only witness, neither care nor stare. Her blessings undone in a moment of damp light. Everything in the desert wields thorn or teeth. The desert does not end at her locked front door. The sky on the floor tainted with rust-colored dust. She digs through a drawer filled with meaning, finding the remains of a life of a man she once knew. A 10-inch machete in sheath, rawhide gloves. Her skin will die before the gloves wear thin. The gloves came in handy wrestling Nepal. Prickly pear fruit hid magenta water. Blood on her hands, dying heart on a plate. Hidden struggle, terminal life. And that was written by the great late Donna Snyder in Out Loud with Evergreen Books in New Mexico. So Donna, thank you for allowing us to publish you, for all the work you did in your life. May your memory be a blessing, and thank you for letting me share that tonight.
Awesome, thank you. And in my haste to get started, you know, I forgot to mention the usual. Like when we're done, feel free to share your Instagram handle, your social media, ways in which people can see your work, and maybe get published in future journals that you put together, anthologies.
Yes, thank you so much. ES_Strauss if you want to learn more about that anthology. But today is about Donna, so I'm not gonna take any more time away from that.
Yeah, of course, for sure. Thank you, Deadpan Lizzie, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, she definitely would have wanted you guys to rep yourselves. You know, any workshops you have coming on, and places you can submit your work, or any workshops. Definitely share these things, guys. I wouldn't hesitate to share that. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on again, as we often do, to Denver and visit one of our own lighthouses. It's always great when he's here. You know, and he's also sent some great words recently online that I thank you for. So let's go ahead and welcome back to the stage Michael Schindler. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I am glad to be here for this. And I am going to, as you mentioned the word lighthouse, I am going to go ahead. This isn't something for me, but for writers everywhere, I do want to point out that lighthousewriters.org is a wonderful, wonderful resource, and we can use all the great resources we can get hold of as we try and build ourselves as a community, especially as we lose some of the greats. As we know, we lost Donna in the very early hours of the morning on Saturday, and Tumble Words is on Saturday, and Kit really rose to the moment and led us through it. And Shocky G actually did a very nice job with it, but I just really want to thank both of y'all for doing that. And I'm really, really thankful that you're taking the reins and are going to continue on. And this is a piece that I wrote during the workshop, and it's just called For Donna. There is what ends and what does not end. No dividing line between the two makes mirror twins of time and timeless. What is what was and what will be. All states flow and blend in harmony. Love layers deep, successive cushions over seed pod of pain. All lingers, all grows, all fades into eternity. Form and substance rearrange, flit from matter to mass to being to ineffable. Air thickens into water, water rolls over hardened sentient heart. Art ties souls together and never dies. And, you know, as a lot of us here know, and if you don't, as we say, Donna built Tumble Words into something over the space of 27 years, the last roughly 2.5 online. And because of that, so many of us here on this space were able to join in who never would have had the pleasure to know her or to learn from her. And so I thought I would do this piece that I wrote for another real mentor of mine who started a writing group that pretty much saved my life, to be real honest, and got me going again. And while this particular person left the group that she had started to go do something else instead of transition to another state. I think that the words, in a lot of ways, say how I feel about what Donna did for us. And it's called General Gardener for Jane Thatcher. The epitaph is, I visit the orchards of spheres and look at the product, and look at quintillions ripened, and look at quintillions green. Walt Whitman. Tending a garden of forgotten flowers, an unforeseen explosion of blossoming colors, seeds from far and wide blown by rough winds in need of attention and gentle care, carefully, subtly, lovingly cultivated, every hue, shade, shape, and texture, thick-stemmed and thorned in delicate strands, tall, strong, freestanding stalks and gently creeping vines in need of birches clinging for support against the elements. Week by week, roots watered and nurtured, turned sunward, steadied by well-placed supports, letting patterns play and form a harmonious whole, dazzling in its rich array of details, full of fragrance, evoking wisdom and desire. Without the effort of the gentle gardener, rare, disparate blooms, oft seen as weeds, transplanted from the far-flung wilds, would never have joined to become this interconnected, majestic maze of delight. Does it seem a simple act to prepare the ground and season by season harvest sweet fruits? It is not. We must give the gardener due praise, whose diligent, steady touch sensed in each plant unique potential and birthed a sweeter, better world. This is not the only garden to be thus blessed. Leaving these budding growths in others' capable hands, the gentle gardener now moves on to furrow new fields, to bring forth crop after crop of wonder and rapture. As this strong, sheltered oasis remains and thrives, every future blossom and fruit bursting forth will owe its grandeur and radiance in part to the tender, green-fingered cultivator's loving labor. Spores will flutter off to land and grow in plots and tracts, new germination continuing the gardener's never-ending gift. Hands, heart, vision, and a few simple tools used well are all it takes, the gifted, to enrich shared experience. Exquisite gardens will grow, feeding spirit and soul, all indebted and thankful for the gardener's care, all reflecting humble compassion in graceful design. And I doubt very seriously y'all are going to be very surprised by whose poem I read for the hat. And yes, it is by Donna. And it's called Shortest Distance Between 2 Points. Fragments of photographs on the page, a walk along an uncharted path, the shortest distance between 2 points, not necessarily desired. A third point, and we have a plane. The Duet Machina follows an earth eater, graveled stone and mutilated plants, masticated ash and dust falling from the god's mouth. But matter can never be destroyed, only transformed. And it's your duty as one of the chosen to walk through this random chaos, transform this momentary experience through the mere act of observation. This hybrid moment, part uncertainty principle, part the misfits. Give me a moment. Show me your eyes. Let the lies fall out of your mouth, pieces of sky. Put my fingers on your scars. Piece together the fragmented photos. Give me this moment, this hybrid moment, your consciousness, my consciousness, the shortest distance between 2 points. Connect the dots.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike Schindler, everyone.
Thank you, Donna Snyder.
Yeah, Mr. Schindler.
Appreciate that. Yes,
Thank you,
so once
Marrufo.
again, yeah, lovely. Looking forward to everyone's performances today. Once again, this is online mic. We got a pretty good list, pretty full list. I'll repost it right now for those of you on the Zoom call right now so you guys can see. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Let us know you're here. Just say hi in the live chat. We're performing, we're doing what we always do. We're sharing some stuff. Many of us will be honoring Donna, but feel free to feel free. Let's go ahead and continue. We're gonna go to Pittsburgh, where we're gonna say hi to Vale Larkin in the house. Vale, what is up? How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? I have this amazing guest with me. He is visiting me from Chicago, Kingston Nolly. Hi. Thanks so much for holding this space today. I knew Donna only peripherally through going to Tumblewords. I didn't know her personally at all, but I saw the impact she had on so many people. I'm pretty good friends with Kit, and I saw what he was going through towards the end of her life and what he's been through and the amazing strength he's shown through all of this. There are a lot of layers to grief for me, even just being sad for someone who had a big impact on people I care about. And with this particular situation, there was a personal element first. So I'm going to read a short piece I have that's about my own terminal illness and is one of the things that came up in processing the fact that Donna had left us. Ghost Song. I am ever transient. My home, my own body, my mind, my deep-held heart. We clung to knowledge. Time is only reason, no two other words. I remember looking at myself then. I remember looking at myself, wondering how my body would melt and desiccate into elderly and wise. I longed for dignity and time like the promise of every year. Isn't this the dream? All Peter Pan and candy visions. Never to grow old, never wither out. But I love richness and depth and long stories. So yes, goodbye, ancient self, ghost of hope. And then I have her effect on other people I know, people who knew her better. And I have another shorter piece that's kind of about grieving someone you care about and someone who's important to you. She is still now. The moment they told her, everything faded away. One breath, her feet on the ground, her skirt brushing her thighs in the breeze, her head keeping her heart in. The next, no ground, no breeze, no head, heart gone, all gone. The stillness of despair, so elusive to illustrate, compared to its frantic siblings. Wailing, flailing grief, falling onto caskets and tearing at its hair. But the way it all goes silent, the way the world becomes flat paper patterns of mythical life. And she's left lingering in the ephemeral, horrific moment when the world reshapes itself around her loss. And because they are gone, there can also be no reality. And last, I want to do a piece that's a little more, I guess, the broader picture, to take a step back and looking at death as something more meaningful than we sometimes make it, and also life. This is a short sequence called Habitat that I read before. 1. In all her wanderings, She never found it. The blue, the great blue vastness. Born in the center and walking on foot, step after dry step, sand-slowed and scalded souls. In some spaces deep in the desert, the heat made light liquid, tricky and wicked, and she was nearly submerged. She took great wading strides through delusion, damp and clinging to her skin, until the searing truth rematerialized. She swallowed it and searched on. 2. Lying on their back, their eyes lifted up in the green-gold chiaroscuro of the leaves and thinnest branches, like intricately stitched carpet for tiny souls with hollow bones and scant flesh. The universe inverts, and they are lifted, and they become airborne, hollow hearts so light it need never submit itself to the ground. 3. We wander the home we long for, seeking delirium, but when we are silent, every word exhaled, every song, each longing sigh, our vitality cracked and ruddy clay, our spirits aloft, and our oceans of feeling soaked into the stones. We will, all of us, fall back on our foundations, into the earth, into the soft dark, into the warm primeval caverns of our mother's body. Thank you.
No,
And
it's,
yeah,
yeah.
my deepest condolences to all of you. Thank you for sharing everything today.
Yes, thank you, Vale. As always, powerful, poignant, like just your words, and for your condolences earlier as well. Actually, we can leave the screen on you because next up we have Kingston. So just perfect. Do you want to let's hold on, let's make it official. I'm gonna go back and then we'll go back to you guys. All right, so that was Vale, everyone. Thank you again. Like I said, powerful, poignant, heavy words, but I mean, just they hit just right. We're going to continue on, still in Pittsburgh, just to their left, on the couch. We're gonna stick around and go back to Kingston, Nolly. And it's been a while. It's always great to see you. Welcome back. Yeah, go and take it away.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Really, it's thanks to Vale that I'm back. So, it's good to see all y'all, old faces, new faces. Just give me a second. Okay, so I have a sampler tonight of a few short poems that I will read. Okay. So I'm gonna read the first two short little pieces that are gonna be part of a larger work. One of us. I was one of them. Floral print and faux leather boots, bourbon-fueled nights and brunch-filled belly. I was tiny. I was terrified. I was one of them. I was gentrified. All right. Next. Death of a friendship. He said, "You were selfish." She said, "Fuck you, Kingston." They said, she said, "You're selfish." He asked, "Why didn't you take it to the bridge?" He said, "I'm just trying to help." They said, "You're a crazy person." He said, with finality, "I'll leave you alone." So, All right. So, a little bit about this next one. I work for a bike share company thing in Chicago, and a lot of I manage the bike mechanics, and a lot of my mechanics are people of color, men of color, and a lot of the management. I'm an assistant manager. A lot of the management are not people of color and men of color. So, it's funny. Like the other day, one of my mechanics put into good words that there's like, well, he said there's a disconnect, and I think it's more than that, you know, like, but yeah, here is shop talk. I had to give the talk today to a man much older than me, bald head and flecks of gray in his beard. Ice ran through me as the way my words flowed down from something outside of me, as I watched myself stiffen, and I told this man, reminded, people like us have to be careful here. And my face froze, and he began to cry, and I began to cry. We stepped outside, and he said, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool. And I said, stay cool, stay cool, stay cool. And her thick lips quivered, and her wide noses flared. And we wiped our eyes, and we strode inside, and I have to control him. Okay. And then last one is relatively new. It's fairly new. It's called Whack. Everything is red. That rock is the enemy. That pole was asking for it. Whack, crack, crumble, a geode. A half for my friend, a half for forgiveness. Everything is red. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. I scrawled, I tore, I stashed away. He dug it out. He lorded it over me. He held grudges. Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Do you hate? Everything is red. Like the eyes of that stupid fucking boy. He rolled them shits so hard for no goddamn reason. I stormed into my dorm room. I tore all those motherfucking poems off my door. I choked out my fairy lights. I slammed a lamp onto the floor. I never said a word. Heart screaming. I never said a word. Eyes swimming. I stood in the aftermath. A soft knock. She slipped my tattered poetry into my room. I stood in the aftermath. She never said a word. Everything is red. I fling a folder of paperwork at a tree. I storm my apartment. I knock over all the chairs. I see that fucking pillow. I punch that fucking pillow. Not enough. I find that fucking bat. I smash that fucking pillow. Not enough. I see the red brick wall. Whack. Not enough. Crack. Not enough. I swing that broken bat, and it shatters. I release. It clatters. I stood in the aftermath. I left a note on the fridge. I love you. I left the apartment. I can't remember what happened next. Everything was red. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kingston. Oh, feel free, guys, to unmute. Make some noise, yes, and as always,
Yeah.
feel free to give some feedback in the chat and
was
emojis.
absolutely-
Thank you, Kingston. And I know for the uninitiated, people can hit you up on Instagram, right? At kingston.nali, Nali. Awesome. Yeah. You're just so used to pointing. You can follow Vale too. Yeah. Put in the chat and we will share those. Thank you so much. Yes. Awesome. Oh, you guys are coming with some pieces. You guys are coming heavy tonight. Oh man, I'm already broken open. So let's let it all spill out. Oh man. Sometimes you just gotta let the pieces breathe. Anyway, yeah. We're gonna keep going, everyone. Yeah. Our next performer, you all know as well. She's been one of Donna's longest riding pals, as she said, 26 years. And you'll still see her at Tumbleweeds. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Robin Schofield. Hey, Robin.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, this is a sad day, a sad week. I don't know. It just makes me very sad to think that Donna will no longer be involved in things like this. She loved open readings, and she was too ill in the last few months to really participate. So I'm going to read a poem about Donna, about Tumbleweeds. And I like it because Donna was so accepting of everyone, and everyone is always welcome at Tumbleweeds. The mentally ill, the people who hang out at the library, anybody she welcomed. And so I called this Unlikely Guy in the Poetry Workshop. He calls himself Twain, literary and laconic moniker, tall, even Lincoln-esque, but unkempt, hands caked with dirt as though he dug out of the grave just yesterday, smelling of it too, sending the young lesbians in black tivas into rants on their own mortality. Then he says, the Etruscans had too many words for divination, haruspices, and sulfur, and mineral, and grit, and he's weeping over his ex and her son. But what could she do when she called, and his furies answered in rhyme and meter? All of us are staggered by it as he voices what voices him in two tongues, cursed and gifted, dry wit railing against the riddled world. When Donna asks, would you like to lead a workshop? He replies, sure, if I'm not in jail. That was our dear colleague, Twain. He's still around somewhere. And this is a little elegy I wrote for somebody else a long time ago. I feel the need to write an elegy for Donna, but I haven't done it yet. This is called Juniper Smoke. You keep the stairway you use a secret as you enter your cocoon. When will the brilliant creature that you are to become emerge into the blue? When your flame sputtered, we prayed every day that heaven would find another more worthy. There was none. Amata sapientia, self and other, she stands by you as you fold your wings. What's remembered of arrival and departure burns to black lace on the keen wind you leave behind. And then I want to read a couple out of one of my favorite books of Donna's, The Tongue Has Its Secrets. And I remember this was called something else in the beginning, and I also lobbied for it to be called The House of Many Doors. And I'm still lobbying for that title. I'm still going to lobby for that title if we publish anything after. So I just picked a couple of poems at random, like Donna would have done. This one is called Make a Prayer in Rhyme and Meter. And it mentions an Irish goddess, by the way. So make a prayer in rhyme and meter. Smell the acrid winds blowing through flame. Feel the sway of the hanged man. Listen to words and know their unfortunate meaning. Know the bloody root. Make a prayer in rhyme and meter. Bury it beneath a gate named Shelah. Look into the light on the lip of the wave. Salute the bastard wounds of a dying moon. And then this one is called Vernal. Seems like it ought to be called autumnal, but it's called Vernal. Now is the time of miracles. Eos wings through persimmon dawn. Astarte strokes her favorite hair. Freya dressed in gossamer and wreath. Saraswati holds her lotus bloom. Isis restores her lover to life. The blood of Cybele's lover gives us violets before his resurrection. Soon the passion of the Son of Mary, she of the Sacred Heart. Crone stretched gnarled fingers, no longer cramped by bitterness. It is the time to clean and sew. Long night. No, I'm sorry. I read this wrong. Long light and short night return. Seeds planted in cold dark give birth. So it is vernal. She's right. I read it wrong. I just glanced at it and read it wrong. So it is vernal. You're right, Donna. You're always right. So thank you, everybody. And things I have coming up, tumble words as usual. I think it's Michael Schindler next week, isn't it?
Schindler's the 15th. 8th is Amanda Villanueva.
Oh, Amanda Villanueva. Good, Amanda, and then Michael. So we've got great people coming up. And I just learned that my new book, Ridge of High Pressure, is coming out in June. So I'll be doing some readings around town, and I'll let people know about that as it gets closer.
All right, wonderful. Really looking forward to that. Again, as always, congratulations, Robin. Let's see. Sometimes Kit and I are fighting for the spotlight button, and we cancel each other out. It happens. But I mean, thank you again for those words, this tribute. You know, you knew Donna longer here than anybody, so always great that you can join us and share that. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go to the East Coast and visit our main man in Maine. And he's always had such nice things to say about Donna and tumble words, and I'm sure he will as well right now. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Brian Franco. Hey, Brian, what's going on, man?
You didn't have my note from the thing.
Oh, yes. Let me read that. So, I always got to give props to Generalissimo, who always comes up with really silly, creative, witty responses on the sign-up form. But today couldn't be more sincere. This world, so he just wants to let people know this world is a lesser place without Donna Snyder. Her soul is still alive as we celebrate how she influenced and supported us. And she will live in the poetry of everyone whose lives she touched. I agree. So go and take it away, Brian.
Thank you. The first poem I'm actually going to read, I'm going to do 3 Donna poems, but this poem was just recently published in an online journal called Stick Figure. My friend T.A. Niles, who is here, also is in that journal, along with a few other people that I know. But this is called I So Badly Wish to Exist in Your Ink. I like watching you when you write your poetry. When I hear your pen scratch against paper, as I watch from the other room, when your emotions are transformed into ink, I hope the thoughts encompassed in the ink are about me. about how I like to lay my head on your pillow when you wake and rise before me, how those moments you are absent from our bed leads me to your scent, how I taste your tangerine lip balm whenever you enter a room, how my mirror is more honest when you look me in the eyes, how I am no longer afraid to cry in front of others, how knowing you exist in my life tells my tears it's okay to fall, how the sound of your voice lets me know hugs still exist. I hope the thoughts that become your poetry are laced with the love I feel for you, the love you infuse into my heart with your love. And let me try to get back to that. And then I have these 3 poems. This is, so on Saturday, I didn't really find out till about when I was eating lunch that Donna had passed away. I was looking at my phone and I wrote this. It's for Donna Snyder, a letter to an unintentional goddess. We never met in person. I never experienced your hug, but I felt your hug and your voice when we talked on the phone. You bolstered my self-esteem through your support of my poetry. I never could have believed in myself enough to run a workshop without your encouragement. You are a friend and role model. Your soul will exist in the poetry of every poet who called you friend or teacher or role model. Every time I heard you read your poetry, I found myself in awe of the majesty you wielded with your pen, your voice, and thought process. I cannot process this world without the love you so willingly offered to so many poets. I cannot process that I shall never meet you in person or have a face-to-face conversation with you or hug you hello. I refuse to say goodbye. On Sunday, Michael read a poem for Donna at an open mic, and I wrote this after he read that poem. This is, again, for Donna Snyder. It's called With Binoculars and Night Vision Goggles. She is watching over us. Where she currently exists, there are cushy leather chairs and couches with old, soft dogs that fall asleep and count their lucky stars for the mother they adopted. There are poets on earth who feel as if this world has achieved emptiness. She watches over us, makes our idle pen sing songs that will become poems we won't know was her way of living through our words. She was and still is our teacher and mentor and encourager. She will always be tumbling through our memories and words till our last days. And this I read Tumble Words, but it was actually a poem that I wrote for Donna on her birthday. And I think that was the first time I actually read it at a reading. So I call it the penultimate riverboat ride. When Cerberus decided 3 heads were too many, he stowed away on Charon's boat as it returned to the land of the living. Charon always listened to Sympathy for the Devil on a loop, singing along so loud he was oblivious to any noise, like the frightened yelp of the 3-headed dog as he jumped overboard into the river Styx. When the dog walked ashore, he had only one head and a desire to have his tushy scratched and belly rubbed. He had been texting with his college roommate Sphinx, who lived in the soul of an adopted dog in the home of a legendary El Paso poetess who let her dogs have free rein on the couch and was a generous belly rubber and tushy scratcher. Sphinx sent Cerberus a text. She's bringing another dog into our family. Wouldn't it be awesome if you never had to be on guard again? We'd be brothers living the life of Riley together. This Donna woman is the mama I never had and even more. I feel normal. She knows when I need her love and accepts my doggy cuddles and kisses. She is a goddess in human form, and all who enter our family have mythical souls. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Richie. Thank you, Kit. Of course, thank you, Robin, for giving us Kit. But thanks most of all to Donna for just being Donna at all times.
Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Brian. man, hearing your poem, made me reflect on the fact that I've known Donna for about 14 years. Time just goes by like that, and oh, those of you who never got like just Zoom for sure is one thing, but like her live performances, like the way she would just perform it, full voice, bravado, like her intensity.
Well, that piece I saw
Absolutely.
with the jazz band was like
Yeah.
something a legend would do. And of course she was a legend. So,
And and even that in the last public performance, she put so much into it. She needed to take a seat, a little James Brown, and she got back up and finished it off with the band and everything. So took me right back to that. So thank you, Brian. All right. We've got a pretty good list, guys. So we're gonna go and keep going. In fact, you heard a little bit of a reference there to the Stick Figure Poetry Quarterly, and our next performer has also published there with Brian. From joining us from Mimbres, New Mexico, let's go ahead and welcome T.A. Niles to the screen. Welcome, sir. How are you doing today? Good to have you. Welcome.
Claro que sí, gracias. Anyway, thank you, folks. I feel for you. I didn't know Donna, and I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for my desire to hear Generalissimo Brian Franco read that poem, because I read it, but I wanted to hear him read it. And so I'm here, and I'm really glad I'm here. And Richie, when I found out that this was your venue, I was really excited to be here because I heard you on Finn Bell's Twitter. And I was like, I got to meet that guy. And here it is. So condolences to you folks who've lost such an important part of your lives. And I'm glad to be meeting her in absentia, if you will. I'll do two pieces tonight. I will read the piece that was published in Stick Figure Poetry Quarterly as well. This piece is called Nowadays. Self-doubt is like a cataract creeping across the retina of mind, a hazy film dimming the light of reason, a bramble of cobwebs clouding sight, no longer able to see around the corners of questions or hear the bark and growl of dogged answers. You plunge into a dread or dream of knowing that dark beyond light approaches, sleep beyond waking encroaches, though more like friend than foe. Now that fear has gotten behind you, like the Lucifer it favors, that Beelzebub it resembles. Temptation slithers just beyond reach, a niggling shimmer that fails to solidify in loins. There will never be aching orbs of blue again. Perhaps most alarming is the lack of alarm at this state of almost wistful, this longing for longing that forlorns you, the desire for desire that escapes you. The time is nigh when you spy the back of the familiar, call memory's name, and it turns to reveal imagination's face. You turn away in embarrassed confusion. The sidewalk of your being shudders. Maybe it's time to sit at the curb. On the curb, it doesn't matter if your windshield is cracked, if the rearview mirror is a tad too foggy. You sit there on the curb, knowing that the time is long gone when you'd say to a threat that leapt, or should that be leaped? If you're feeling froggy, jump, or was that leaped? There are so many simple things that stump me nowadays that probably wouldn't be troubling at all if that sharpened edge of yesteryear contrast didn't cut so. Now, memory and imagination have given up the disguise I've imposed upon them, and they've started dressing like identicals rather than fraternals. I'm looking for clues to distinguish. The closest I can come is that sentiment isn't certain with imagination, but memory brings the blues, and of course some greens and yellows and purples and pretty off-color hues, a kaleidoscope of life lived in fullness. Can that be enough, the fullness of history, for a laurel rest now that zest has fled? And I'd like to do one more piece. Michael spoke of the gardener earlier, and this piece is The Planter, refers to Poetry X Hunger's founder, Hiram LaRue. He knows a thing or two about edibles emerging tentatively from trampled earth, from tilled earth, from earth that lies dormant until impregnation of seed, until saturation of life's liquid, until the warm, bright gleam penetrates the fleeing darkness. He knows about planting seeds in soil rich or barren, on hills swept clean while wind whistles, near streams that gush or trickle, on desertscapes bereft of promise, in skyscraper gardens and rural enclaves of the lost and forgotten. Yes, he knows about planting ideas that curl and spiral up from smoky inspiration, spaced just so they can breathe, can stretch their ephemeral limbs before settling in to the hard work of feeding minds and spirits. He knows their gripping pangs, their clenching, their yearning, gaping maws reminiscent of avarice, yet are more kin to need, not greed. When you dive into the depths, penetrate into the core of things, what's required is sustenance, not comeuppance. He knows beyond the power of gray matter and questing tendrils, knows somehow in his marrow, in his molecules that prickle all the way to skin, from corns and calluses to follicles, that mere morsels can serve as understudies for feasts. He knows that his heart beats, his blood flows, his neurons fire in replication of all who breathe, have breathed, will breathe. Their hues as salient as dandruff on a white jacket. Thank you for listening, folks, and for presenting the opportunity.
No, thank you so much. Like do you have social media where people can follow you and check out your work? Oh wait, we have you muted by accident.
Sorry, no, that was me muting in a hurry. Okay. Yeah, I'll put a couple things in the chat. I don't have much, this is relatively new for me. So I will put what I have though. Thank you, Richie.
All right, appreciate it. And once again, thank you for those kind words, and thank you for listening to that session that we had with Finn Bell. By the way, what's up, Finn Bell?
Yes.
Cool stuff. You could check that out on Twitter Spaces. Very interesting. I feel like you could take a VCR manual and make it just sound outstanding, with some gravitas, and I'll be like on every word. But even then, your words were awesome. Like, mere morsels can serve as understudies to feasts. Like, what? That was amazing. Loved it all.
Richie.
Appreciate it. Yeah, please come back. Welcome anytime. We'd love to have you. Cheers. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and keep this thing going. We'll try and keep up with the list. Right now, we're going to go to South Euclid, Ohio. And let me see, is he here? Do we need to call ground control? And is he out in space? Let's go ahead and bring back our poet laureate of South Euclid. Let's go ahead and welcome Doc Janning. What's going on, Doc?
Oh, so many things are going on.
Sure.
Progress towards finalizing the ekphrastic poetry fundraiser I've created, and going to actually be working towards having a youth poet laureate program in our schools beginning next school year, and the same with a junior poet laureateship for the elementary grades. So it a lot of work ahead. But I have 3 poems for you tonight. The first of which I wrote today at another event where we worked from a prompt on place and remembrance. This is titled Rememory. Rememory of a field and visions of then, 6 blocks long in the warm summer sun, saw tall grasses above my knees, grasshoppers and ants, crickets and spiders, a patch of wild mint and rolling in it, a Johnny Appleseed tree and the shaded nook beneath, a place of refuge, a place to read, a place to dream, gone now, buried beneath buildings and uncaring asphalt. This one is unusual in a way. It's a reflection of something which actually happened. It's titled The Ghost's Kiss. A cool breeze filters through the old manse. I sense a warm presence. Hands touch lightly, gently on my shoulders. A kiss lingers on my cheek, and I feel the love she never knew. And finally, I wrote this morning. The title is Merism of B. Biting the acid rind of a bitter wish amid the kinetic kiss of a silent mouth. Evening sunlight shadows sob as they slide across the horizon of night into anonymous alien fractals of time. The voice of the lyre awakens, singing all the hoary ancient tongues of planets and comets, stars and galaxies, as they fall through eternal Chthonian dark on silent streams of infinity. What is unknown becomes known in limitless possibilities of every when, and never-ending eons, epochs, eras, and ages, as light slides away in particulate waves, and sound echoes, voiceless, into entropy. All the infinite nows of yesterdays, todays, and tomorrows rise into supernal supernova soliloquies, and rhymeless thoughts flow full flood through shades of memory and hopes of dreams, becoming canons, cantos, and canticles of futures yet to be, cryptic truths of day and night, dawn and dusk, revealed and concealed in transcendent moments, and dappled shadows of what has been or will be, coalesce on the surreal loom of forever, to be woven into the frenetic fabric of existence. And all becomes a conscious oneness, the reality and quiddity of the multiverse, in all its effects and affects on matter and energy, in the ebb and flow of creation and destruction, and beginnings and endings which are beginnings, all a merism of B. Thank you.
All righty then. No, thank you, Doc Janning. Where can people follow you and all that good stuff?
They can follow me on Facebook. That's about the only place I am really, other than some folks have put some videos of me on YouTube. So Just look on YouTube for Doc Janning.
Awesome, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Doc with poetry so grandiose, you can only read it with the backdrop of space. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah.
And the one about the ghost's kiss, I was kissed by a ghost in an old mansion where I was for a meeting.
Chisme. All right. Some ghost chisme.
You know what? If you're open to it, virtually, you can experience virtually anything.
This is true. we've experienced quite a bit. But Doc, thank you as always for joining us. And for those listening, we do always have like an after party once we finish the open mic and everyone's had their turn. We usually just kind of hang out on these Mondays too, and we can tell all sorts of interesting stories just like that. Shout out to Christine, by the way. I saw you jump into the call right now. Christine Poncedias, awesome singer. Let's go ahead and keep this going. We're going to bring it back to El Paso for our next couple of performers, back to the Southwest, in fact, for our next 3 or 4. We're going to go ahead and bring it to a Tumblewords writer of 7 years. He's no stranger to this open mic. Let's go ahead and welcome. He signed up today as the chief, but let's go ahead and welcome Bill Sparks. What's going on, Bill? Hey there.
Yeah, you are what's going on, my brother. You are what's going on. And chief refers to my rank when I retired, chief warrant officer. So chief is a magical name, magical rank in the Army. A lot of good things happen magic overnight when the chief gets involved. I'm going to break with the tradition of Tumblewords and read 2 pieces. One I wrote Saturday and one I wrote before. I had a dear friend pass away back in 2015, which prompted me to do some writing. And this is what I wrote in 2016 for a close friend. I dusted it off again in 2020 for a Vietnam veteran friend and Tumblewords writer. And now once again for Donna. A friend is gone. A friend is gone. Life goes on, but now there is a hole. Something is missing from my soul. Family and friends grieve. Life goes on, but now there is a hole. Something is missing from my soul. A friend is gone. I search for my memories. I search for the photographs. Where is my friend? Something is missing from my soul. Life goes on, but now there is a hole. Family and friends grieve. A friend is gone. May they all rest in peace. Yuta Matalka, German born, proud American and Texan by choice, 2016. David Davis, Vietnam veteran and brother in arms, 2020. And Donna J. Snyder, poet, 2022. So my second piece, again, breaking with the tradition of reading something that I wrote on Saturday. This comes out of the one with Shocky G. Couldn't follow the prompt. I was too overwhelmed by the news. So here's what I have. My friend is gone. There are no words. The grief-stricken are silent. Emotions boil up and then boil over. The sense of loss permeates the air. Anger hovers at the edge of it all. Why? Why her? Why now? We can all share the moment in our own way. We need to put aside our feelings. For now, she is still with us. We remember the smile. We remember the ornery and cantankerous person lurking behind the smile. We remember her words, the words of encouragement. Smile as you remember her soul and her heart, the generous soul that gave us the gift of her words and her poetry. My friend is gone. Our friend is gone. Smile now for what she gave us. We can mourn tomorrow. And with the tradition, I guess, that I picked up from young Kit, I'm going to try to put my El Paso hat on. This particular poem comes from Donna's new book. There is another version of it in one of her older publications, but I want to read this version. I think this is the one that stuck with me. Invoking the Muse. Language zings through air like neon tracers. Coffee drinkers quit stirring their cups. Girls grab pens to scribble on scraps. She makes illicit lovers break their gaze. Words whistle and dance, and poetry happens. Boys turn shy and think of woman, she who speaks truth to power, an aspect of the triple goddess, she who embodies abundance, she who affects change. Workhorse for justice, maker of kings, caster of spells, inciter of riots, she who wields the power of words. Vaya con Dios, Donna. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bill Sparks, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get back on there. I love that. I love that. There's a tradition, you know, you guys are more than welcome to share cover poems. Put on the lid, the cap to do so. Yeah, thank you so much for reading that. And nice cap. Love it. Okay. What is up, everyone? Welcome to our online show once again. Next up, you already know he's been referenced so many times. He's been holding it down really well. And again, with the Tumblewords page and the workshops moving forward, he's been working so hard. So he just deserves all that credit and respect. Let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Monday Night, Kit Wren. Go and take it away, man.
Mr. Monday night.
Thank you, Richie. Gonna do one of mine and then a cover and then a sort of cordoned off Donna's section. Because I very sensitive about cliches, so I don't want to say that Tumbleweed saved my life, but it that's the way it looks, you know. That's how I would put it together in the evidence tray. That metaphor got away from me. But when I started going to Tumblewords, first as a kid, and then again when I moved back here about 2015, 2016, it sort of gave me a direction, and it gave me the habits that I kind of need to do the things I do. This is the oldest thing that I still regularly read, and it definitely happened in Memorial Park Library. I don't remember who the presenter was. I don't know how the conversation transitioned from bad puns to general theories of art, but it was sudden and regrettable. He insisted to us repeatedly that it's only art if the artist thought it would change the world. He had no method. He had no examples. He was so earnestly wrong-headed that I wanted to hug him and tell him everything's going to be okay, little buddy. But these gestures can be misinterpreted. My smaller, fairer, and meaner companion went on the attack, recited the theories of Deleuze like a prayer, intense and precise. She leaned in, triumphant, as his face became gaunt, confronted with what he did not know that he did not know. For my part, I contributed flecks of light at the margin, mentioned the death of the author, the intention fallacy, and a simplified tale of Kafka and Kafka's dull, slow-witted friend, Max, the least reliable literary executor in the world, a man who cannot be trusted to start a fire with just paper. He was, in the end, unfazed, unconvinced, unshaken. He continued to believe in things unseen and soon moved on to the all-hours sandwich shop next door. And we, the unacknowledged legislators of the barroom, ordered 2 more doubles. Took turns saying, I don't know, man. I don't know. We didn't. And we were sick with envy of the insolent ones who thought they did, of the man whose innocence we had failed to even dent. got a bit high pitched there. Um, and just a quick cover poem. Please ignore my computer's fan because it's funky. But yes, thanks for the clarification in the chat, Richie. This is just a quick poem. It's one of my favorite poems about bereavement. This is Alone by Jack Gilbert. I never thought Michiko would come back after she died, but if she did, I knew it would be as a lady in a long white dress. It is strange that she has returned as somebody's Dalmatian. I meet the man walking her on a leash almost every week. He says good morning, and I stoop down to calm her. He said once that she was never like that with other people. Sometimes she is tethered on their lawn when I go by. If nobody is around, I sit on the grass. When she finally quiets, she puts her head in my lap, and we watch each other's eyes as I whisper in her soft ears. She cares nothing about the mystery. She likes it best when I touch her head and tell her small things about my days and our friends. That makes her happy, the way it always did. And to talk more about Donna and what she meant to me individually, and to like a lot of people, a lot of younger people specifically, because she was a fountain of encouragement. She did not feel threatened by the younger poets. She saw it as her job to sort of marshal and shepherd them and be on their side. And Cassie Holguin Pettinato told a great story about how one of the first times she read in front of her and she giggled nervously, and Donna chided her and told her to take yourself serious. You know, that kind of encouragement. And you know, when my friend Rachel Cachete and their friend Jessica Castro co-founded a press, Donna was not only a cheerleader and but a supplicant. She submitted just like everyone else with no expectations, and was just as happy as the rest of the people published in Chismosa Volume 2. I'm going to read her successful submission real quickly for you. It's entitled Like Birds Over Barren Land. 1. Mama. She sits on the divan. A heap of Salem cigarettes grows beside her. Her mind races along paths overgrown and dark with unspoken terrors. The rage is easier to see than the fear, and both grow twisted and dark. The darkness is illuminated by sudden patches of brilliance. In her dream, she danced along tall walls surrounded by Tibetans. They knew her secret. She had the power to fly and sing like a bird over barren land. In the distance, green mountains glowed with the light of heaven. Her mama and daddy stood in the shade of a tree. Its top branches are obscured by golden clouds. In her dream, she is happy. Awake, she takes her happiness in her hands and turns it into a stone. She loses it in her pocket. It's night here, and her parents are long since gone. There is no one left to help her figure out the way to glory. Perhaps if she just keeps walking, something good will happen. 2, her daughter. I look for mama in all my lovers. In one, I found her way with numbers. In one, I found her maternal urge. In another, I found a rage unconnected to the current day. They loved me when they found me. They loved me beside the long and rocky road. They loved me fierce and harsh as stone. But at night, when the cigarettes mount beside my elbow, the night is endless dark, and I'm still alone. So, thank you all for listening to me. I'm going to go right into the plugs because the Tumblewords Project was the thing that she organized her life around. I mean, in a tactile day-to-day sense for 27 years. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going digitally at 1 o'clock Mountain every Saturday, free writing workshops from our cadre of writers and regulars. October 8th That's this Saturday is going to be Amanda Ashley Villanueva, known to a lot of us in these online circles. And then the week after that will be Michael Schindler, who you already saw today. So you already know to expect good things on the 15th. The 22nd will be Heather Franklin, a professor with Western New Mexico in Silver City. She has a great workshop planned. And then the 29th is our annual workshop for Day of the Dead with a local poet and playwright, Raquel Mejia. Okay. That's all from me, Richie. Remember to hit replace instead of add for Spotlight.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm racing you to the button. That's why, and I panic and I push the wrong button. It happens. I'm like, I'm gonna race against Kit. No, I'm very happy that you are going to continue Tumblewords. You know, one of the things about Donna is she's always, like you said, included and been happy to work with other poets and other organizations, and that's so important. You know, with Barbed Wire, you know, we've always, I mean, for a good while, we've collaborated on guest readings, celebrating Poetry Month, and so, you know, we've been working together now for a while. So I'm glad that this relationship can continue in our community organizations of our literary peeps that exist kind of outside of academia. And yeah, we'll keep going strong. Thank you, Kit. All right, let's go ahead and welcome a newbie here to at least our online space. We got to see him live in person Thursday at Old Sheepdog. And a little bit about him. So he's gonna play some music for us. He's from El Paso, Texas. He moved away and I think did some really interesting stuff. So I'm gonna read out the whole thing. He's recorded and toured all while running his lutherie business. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but that is an awesome profession too. He came back to EP to start over and, you know, you just kind of miss it sometimes. He's a full-time luthier, having made guitars for people like Zach Feinberg of the Revivalists and Andrew Sinoway, who does movie scores for Pixar and other movies. Those are pretty good name drops, you know. But joining us today in El Paso, we have Matrimony's Facade, aka Boot. Are you still with us here? Let me see. Let me find you.
Yes, I am.
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys?
All right, great to hear from you.
Yeah, you too. Hopefully the mic's not too loud here, but yeah, no, I love the tributes going out to Donna. I just I don't know her, but I've seen just in a small amount of time, just through just social media and stuff, how much of an impact she's made. So yeah, I think you all are honoring her very well. But anyway, aside from that, yeah, I'll just play a song if that's cool with everybody. I sort of, so all that touring, playing stuff and everything, you know, it wasn't any like major stuff, but it was a lot of great life experience, especially you know, being young in my 20s and you know, starting out very early with a family and all that stuff. And the part I found the hardest of that was to be away from my family. So eventually in 2009, I just quit music altogether. And then of course, when I moved back, one of the things that happened is I got together with my buddy John, who does the Gypsy Cab, or we were the Gypsy Cab company together before I left El Paso. And so when I came back, we got back together, started playing music. And then over COVID, I started I still had some songs in me, you know, and one of the things I've been reading to my kids a lot of is I've got a thing for George MacDonald. I kind of see him as a great universalist, and just has some really interesting philosophy that he shares through all kinds of fairy tales. So that kind of imagery shows up in a lot of my music, and I've been rereading that to my kids, and yeah, some new songs started wanting to come out. So around COVID, I resurrected the project of Matrimony's Facade. So yeah, I don't know. I'll play a song, I guess, and yeah, we'll just I'm gonna do the same one that I did at Sheepdog.
Cool.
I have another one that I've been working on actually. So I'm hoping to put out an entire album. The last one was a concept album, and then this will be as well. So all right, I'll just go out of here. And it's open to interpretation. You don't have to read into it too much, or
A storm is coming. I can feel it in my bones. And you will have your say. I've been crying for oh so long. Boot, really quick. Sorry, I don't mean to stop you. It's a little on the low end of things. I don't know if you have. Are you running through an interface, or are you just using your Zoom?
I'm running through an interface. Yeah.
Okay, it's a little low when you were playing. So I mean, you might have to also enable the original sound on the Zoom call.
Okay. Low as in it's not loud enough.
Yeah, it's not loud enough.
Okay, let me
This was
try this.
originally for This was originally for conference calls, so like a sort of damper will come in if you're too loud, and so
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's what was happening.
How's that? Oh, okay. So it's
like I think the volume was fine, but since it was so loud, Zoom automatically like squishes it.
Oh, it's squashed.
Yeah. So there's an option though on Zoom where you can enable original sound.
Okay. Sorry about that.
On the upper left hand of your video screen.
Okay, yeah, where it says built-in microphone. There's where it says has the microphone button, and then there's a menu on it.
You can choose that, and then to the left of it says original sound. If you just click on that, you should be able to turn that on.
Okay.
I was like, oh man, should I let you keep playing? Because I can hear it because I have headphones, but I'm realizing that it'd be harder for other people.
Yeah. Let's see here. Original preferences.
Enable original sound, and then you should be able to click that, and then once you go back, it should be an option.
Okay. So on audio.
I kept meaning to do a tutorial too, like a link or something.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Echo cancellation. No. Let's see.
So you're in the audio tab, right?
Yes. Audio tab, and then I've got my interface. Then there's an option that says use separate audio device to play ringtone simultaneously. Okay, that's it. Automatically adjust microphone volume. Is that the one? To unclick it?
It's a little below that. So
okay.
It's you read echo cancellation right now, right? It should be in that area where it says music and professional audio.
Okay, let's see here. Echo cancellation. Okay, yes.
No, before that, like around there should be a one that says show in meeting option to enable original sound.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
So when you click on that, you enable it, and then when you get back to your main screen, now you should be able to see that option to
Gotcha.
to enable it. And that way, what that will do, that will take away the noise suppression.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we all adapted during COVID in that way.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's see here.
That's right. We're still doing tech checks.
Right.
But this is a tutorial for anyone watching and they want to play some music in the future. Now they know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
How's that? Is that any better?
It's still pretty low. So maybe raise the volume there.
All right. How about now?
Okay. It's better volume.
All right. Is that canceling out still?
It sounds better.
Okay.
We can bring it up probably a little too.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Yeah, I think that's good. Go away, man. Take two.
All right. Take two. Sorry, everyone. All right. A storm is coming. I can feel it in my bones. And you will have your way. I've been crying for oh so long, and the birds burst forth like the floodgates to tell of what's to come, and you wouldn't listen. Have I got your attention now? Love for you's great, but you keep running from me. Don't you see now? Can you see it? Can you feel it as the clouds come tumbling, tumbling, tumbling? The clouds come tumbling, tumbling, tumbling in. And the rain comes pouring down, and it bleeds onto your face. These rejected shouts of love, and from these words you turn your face, and now you're on your knees. If you could just listen, but it's never too late. It's never too late. I'm here with my arms open wide, waiting for you, coming out of the rain, coming out of the rain, coming out of the rain, 'cause it's gonna get worse. The clouds start tumbling, tumbling, the clouds come tumbling, 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 the clouds come tumbling, tumbling, tumbling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on, man.
Thanks.
Dig it. Man, that fits so well with like Southwest imagery, like the vastness of the plains and the way you see the
Right.
clouds and the storms rolling. And I dig it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I
So-
wrote that around 2009, and that's I was living in South Carolina at the time, and I being from the desert, I just was not used to all the green that was out there, right? Like you could almost never see the horizon because all the trees are blocking it, and but that's actually the image I had of out here. We're so lucky we can see everything for miles and miles, right? Like there's no humidity to hide it either, and when you see those clouds coming in, man, it's beautiful and scary sometimes, like I don't know. So yeah, thanks.
Awesome, man. Thank you for your patience. Something that, of course, how can people follow you online or check out your music, or
Yeah,
in need of your luthier work?
Yeah, for sure. I'll post in the chat here, but you can find my luthery work on and you did get the word right, by the way. On Instagram, I'm at BA Ferguson Guitars, and then my repair work is at BA Ferguson Repairs. You can also just bypass all that, just go to baferguson.com, and my Instagram is usually linked up to that as well. Music wise, I'll also post a link to an album, a concept album I did. It's on Spotify. It's a Spotify link, but this is the album that I worked on. I started writing it when I left El Paso, and I was learning how to record and all that, and I was by myself. Like, I didn't have a band, and so I recorded almost everything by myself, and it took me about 2-3 years, and then I did some re-records and stuff like that. And so wrote this concept album kind of I grew up Catholic, and so I'm not that it matters and everything, but I'm more of an agnostic these days. But I think the imagery of Saint Peter was always really, I could relate to a lot of it, and it was just because of how like bullheaded he was, and just kind of, he was kind of an idiot sometimes, and that's the part that I could really relate to,
Right on, man. Thank you for that.
Right. So
awesome.
I wrote this entire concept album on basically just dealing with my own existentialism and kind of combining it with his story and kind of making it mine. So, again, it's up for interpretation and all that. And
dig it.
And but
thanks,
yeah,
man.
I'll post in the chat, I'll post a link to that.
Yeah, we'll share that link for sure, man.
Yeah.
This is the part of the show where it sometimes turns into a podcast, and it happens, So thank you for, again, your contribution, and everyone for your patience. We figured out the sounds. We're here. We still got more performers. In fact, we just had Parkwillian signed up. So yes, you are on the list, my friend. I saw your message. Let's go ahead and keep going. In fact, we're going to go to someone who was also, he spent some time in EP lately. He's rocking the mic in Wonder Lake, Illinois. It's always great when you can make it out. He's another BWOMS bouncer. I often call Kid a BWOMS bouncer. There's plenty of stories about that. Our next performer is also one of our BWOMS bouncers at the open mic. Sometimes people just like kind of like aren't aware, people are performing. So sometimes it takes a bold person to like let them know like you're being rude. So Nico said it
But
not
it's
as
a bar,
nicely
bro.
before.
Like, I
not
mean, I
as
get
nicely.
It's a bar. But like,
let's go ahead and welcome Nico Kim to the stage. What's up, Nico?
Hey guys, what's up? Can you hear me well enough? Yeah, I don't know. I've done like 5 minutes, so we'll go with that. I'm gonna start with the song. Then I'll do 3 poems, and then I'll end 4 poems and end with the song. There'll be just snippets. The song is called "The Future Freaks Me Out" by Motion City Soundtrack. I'm on fire, and now I think I'm ready to bust a move. Check it out, I'm rocking steady, go. Betty won't stop listening to modern rock. She hates to be alone. I try to compensate it like a love with coffee cake, ice cream, and a bottle of $10 wine. She says, hey, I rock the horror sport. I rock this cowgirl blues. I rock too fast for love. I'm full loose in my Velcro shoes. What's up with Will and Grace? I don't dig drum and bass. The future freaks me out. Yeah. And then so I wrote this, and its manuscript is called ABC 1, 2, 3, and it starts with an ABC dream. Fitting. Mini Apple, big city. Many of you have probably heard this song, heard poem before. Anyway, May 2020, stay in our hindsight. Arrogant assholes always avert and besmirch benevolent bargaining by belittling as babbling begging. Chivalric, comedic. Chauvinistic, common, carrying convoluted dysphomisms dig deep, denying defiant deviancy. Expedient equalities expected, yet expressed expectations seem egregious echoes. Fearing forces fight fantastic fire forthwith. Gods getting go to greatly greet, humanly hubris hastily. I too have insisted in indicating intense injury, jeering at jagged justice justly. justifiably killing clansmen with knowledge and kindness, looting minds, miss mamas and niceties, no necessities, opening Pandora's proverbial parcel, preventing pragmatic progress quite quickly, reversing rhetorically righteous regression retroactively. Simultaneously, suspension of sustenance escalates tension, thirstily tea is tossed, uncivilly, unceremonious victories achieved by such vindication veer from virtue, while whining winners, xanthic xenophobes, yell about years of yesteryear like zealots, zealously sipping Zinfandel. Yeah, I messed up a whole lot. That was pretty hard. Anyway, like, you guys are, all right, I'm just like, quick time out. Like, you guys ever read Fox and Socks by, Dr. Seuss, Theodore Griesel? Yeah, that's like, you want to twist your tongue in a knot, read him. He's like one of my inspirations. Thus, anyway, an amalgamation to a one-sided perspective. First, we start with the question. If bottom line up front is the ethic, we can propose it best in a context that has some kind of foundation. Let's use our imagination as we consider a spectrum. On one side sits the extremity labeled chaos, and way off on the other side of this lemniscating scale, or how others would posit its opposite, sits the question mark, which is the journey I embarked on to seek out an antonym that seemed most fitting to contrast the synonym of pandemonium. Such, what is the opposite of chaos? From my one-sided, egocentric, and ethnocentric perspective, I've come to conclude that structure is a sufficient standard. And in the countless ways one could create a dysphomism or euphemism to deter away from the position of this perspective exists the respective connotation of being choosy or selective. But let's not have the point further redirected. Following the direction I've predicated, from which we've more than once navigated away, day by day, I smile at the simile comparing the superposition of chaos and structure to a cat, Schrodinger's to be exact. And at the right moment of observation of the cosmos, kind of almost the environment in which structure and chaos exists, for which I posit we are subject to and of its operation, is what determines the perspective we allow to define our subjective point of view. I dare not say that structure does not create chaos anew. It's only when we as humans do all we can to create finite spaces that help us keep pace with the vastness of chaos by focusing on the finite spaces in front of our faces, because as much as we want to erase the existence of it all, chaos is the thing that created us. Thus, distract yourself with the finite structure you stand in. There's a reason the planet has been repetitively handed us articulated paradoxes, first articulated by Zeno. Because as far as we know, if a human's pair of eyes can see the infinite between 0 and 1. Jesus, I am all over. My tongue is heavy today. By the way, Mr. Schindler, the poem that you covered from Donna reminded me a lot of that poem, and I thought that was pretty serendipitous. Anyway, Je m'adouce sans toi. Law for JKs. Lost in the days, hazy has been, lazy wannabe. My lawn, weed away from a jungle, while I'm a whim away from singing in it. A whim away, a whim away. A yawn, as the singing songbirds wake up my neighbors. I'll wager my morning meetings with the sun are not the same as Jake next door. Wake and bake next nor. I implore myself to do more, yet I snooze more to lose more minutes in a day. Another whim away from doing the right thing. Instead, I might just sing The Future Freaks Me Out, because I am on fire. And it should have been time for me to bust my move, like at 2. But I lose my groove as I click snooze. A few more minutes of dreaming of the Louvre and Paris backdrops. As I had the ability to hit my head on the Eiffel Tower, I can bang my head into a wall, figuring out what step to take next. All journeys start and end with a step. I just get lost sometimes staring at my untrimmed toenails, 2 of which have chipped off. Yikes. And then this last poem has 3 titles. I think it's still fair to call me an optimist. I crave the elongation of the human soul. I look forward to the day the soul isn't seen as egocentric. If Jesus' resurrection is supposed to be an amalgamation or collection of a nation's best selection of ethics from an individualistic philosophical construction, then the destruction of ethics will not be when conflicts persist, but rather when nothing but peace exists. But yo, imagine the absence of chaos though. Oh, it'd be so sweet. Anyway, and the last one is a song that I'm working on. It's called Golden. You know we stay golden, pulling up, calling shots, because we know what we got, we showing how to make the right moves, make the right ones lose, we glowing. We shine so bright, we know it's all right, we know it's all right, we know it's all right, cause we be golden, 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 golden. It's fun to me being the one that I was gonna be. A bumblebee, a part of Perry as a humble sea. A bunny free among the wolves and open canopies. Abundantly a bendy animosity. And possibly between some rocks and tardy masteries. I have to be the one with open arms and hatcheries. A masterpiece is not a race, it's a catastrophe. The pasture green is for the passerbys and passerbys. We laugh at peace, reminiscent what the chaos brings. Perhaps it doesn't last, but that's the point of laughing and dancing and singing. So I sing we golden. Pulling up, calling shots, because we know what we got, we showing how to make the right moves, make the right ones lose, we glowing. We shine so bright, we know it's all right, we know it's all right, we know it's all right, cause we stay golden. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Yeah, man. Love you too. With all the frenetic energy of your whole performance, man. What, you remembered something?
Yes. Hey, by the way, I'm a featured poet at Word is Right, October 18th. So if you guys are open on the 18th, come check me out. I got a 20-minute set. It's dope. It'll be fun.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you, Nico. Always great having you. Miss that energy, dude. You went from like 0 to 100. All right, boom. And also I had to Google that Seuss one. I'm saving that for a vocal warm-up myself. All right, yo, what is up, everyone? Shout out again to everyone who's performed so far. We still got plenty of performers left, so stick around. If you're here for the live stream, much love. Thank you. Shout out to Bad Luck Benji there on YouTube. I see you there. Thank you for leaving those comments, as well as T.A. Niles, as well as Stephanie, right? Yeah, Stephanie and T.A., what's going on? Thanks for hanging out with us. And let's go and keep going. Our next performer is so cool. She's got a clothing line. And I need to get a cap that says, "Excuse my poet brain," because it happens all the time. So you have the universe, and then you have the unique verse of our next performer, Vanessa Verse. That's right. Let's go ahead and welcome to our stage, Vanessa Verse. What's up? Welcome.
Hey, that was a really cool intro. Thank you. Also my condolences to like majority of the people here on this virtual open mic. I know how hard it is to lose somebody in the community. So I was getting very emotional listening to a lot of you. So yeah. Okay, I did 2 poems. One is called Suicide Residence. So yeah, hi, my name is Vanessa and I'm from Seattle. Sometimes when I tell people that, they bring up how Seattle is known for having the highest suicide rates. The nation putting blame on the limited touches of sunshine, limited time outdoors, limited blue skies, the lack of hope for a brighter day because we know the whole week is grayed out. And then I think about who in my family was on suicide watch. Depression and anger was home half the time. I watched my family's eyes conjure up a death wish. I used to cut away from the pain of being in this family at the age of 9, and I need you to know that suicide hits Seattle locals like silent guns. And we're used to the blood, emotional baggage. We're familiar with the exit wounds. We wear them like matching tattoos. We call them grief. We call them closure. We call them by their names while everyone else calls them by the numbers. My best friend is clinically depressed. Most of my homies are all suicidal. My classmates who raced to their death, I miss their memorials, and I can't say his name out loud anymore, but my high school sweetheart's brother was found hanging right before prom. We were both dancers. There wasn't much we could do, but we knew we could always connect while on beat. So to silence the grief, even just for a moment. We dance, drown our screaming heartbreak in whatever the DJ was playing until we can't hear the loss as loud as it is, because that's what we do. We get up and we dance no matter how much our limbs feel numb and our insides feel like they've been dipped in acid. We move and we don't do it alone. The whole city refuses to stay still. We move through the rain as if it were our dance instructor. We blend the way the outside gray blends with our insides, and as the overcast likes to pulls on our depression like rose petal games to decide fate, like misery loves me and warmth loves me not, is tomorrow really worth seeing? And we play until there's nothing left, until all we have is petals on top of stones with carved names that were given in the city of suicide tourists. Complain about the rain, but it is ours. The people who walk around with umbrellas have no clue what it's like to soak in our chapters of closed caskets. We slide through the water droplets, run footwork through slippery sidewalks that reflect our lost ones, because our puddles are heaven's mirrors. So we dance like everyone and our angels are watching, and we never do it alone. So yeah, that was my first poem. My second poem is called On Time. We turned his living room into a music library, constructed by our memories held closest to our ears, lyrics that surround our hearts, and we exposed the full parts of us. We poured into each other's empties, each patient yet excited vessel. We never thought we could be filled by anyone strong enough to hold the weight of our favorite songs, or anyone with healthy contents or intentions that match our playlist, and we just stared at each other, knowing love is present, but scared to say it out loud, scared that this might be too late or a little too much. We just wanted to make sure that when it leaves our lips, there's no question that we mean it. Hoping music can say things we're not able to say ourselves. We're both wondering if this could be our time, because we knew he was deploying. We bloomed into our emotions, left in albums of our past, introduced the artists that left us speechless or helped us when we were restless. We took our time in this living room, adding to each other's clouds on this mutual high, because time doesn't ever stay still when you need it to. Time is never on our side when you're active duty and there's something real in front of you. Time has never known this feeling in my chest, has never danced with these butterflies that break against the old school breakbeats in my stomach whenever he looks at me, whenever we pick each other's brains, whenever we slip lyrics into conversations and pull out sound out of our fingertips that know exactly where to touch us. The same way we really want to say, I love you, but we're scared. Because time doesn't know how to dance, probably because it never listens. It just knows how to leave, so it smiles when others do the same. And those are my 2 poems. Thanks for having me.
I mean, thanks for joining us. I hope that you're more than welcome to join us anytime. And I know that you have your website. Is that the best place to like direct people towards you? We do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's my website. But you can share out.
Cool. Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
And that's the Instagram handle?
Oh yeah, that's my Instagram handle for poetry.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we heard it briefly in the background, a slight one of us chant getting started. And that's just something we kind of do here. It just means, come back anytime. You're one of us, and we're happy to hear your words as well. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Well, thank you for having me.
All righty then. Appreciate it. Let's see. I'm trying to get faster at the spotlight transitions. That was amazing. I was swimming in that. You were like, those are the 2, and I'm like, that's it. I want more. So check out the website. You rock it on social media, by the way. Like your website's really cool. I talked about the clothing line. I'm definitely gonna have to order one of those pulled brain caps. Just it's so true, you know. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going. We were waiting for them to get here because they were on the road. They've been doing a lot of traveling between Albuquerque and El Paso, and they've made it home safely. One of our OGs. It's hard to have an open mic without them, you know. But they made it. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the stage. Let's go ahead and bring back Lee Martinez Soto. What's up, Lee?
Hi.
Hey.
Made it safely. That's good. I just have 2 poems. One has just been accepted for the Raving Press for this publication, and the other one is new. So I'll start with the old one, first in English and then in Spanish. This is called Transfronterizo. I write from a place of nostalgia, sepia-colored glasses tinting the journey from north to south, south to north, back and forth for so many years that I no longer have a place to call home. I am an everlasting commuter, the ghost of this threshold, outsider and denizen, part of, apart from. Of this vague memory of belonging, I am epochs removed from. Casita linda, I no longer know you, much like I no longer know the pressed together houses of tu cuadra, those labyrinthian structures of calles y colonias, gentes y pandillas that I used to navigate without the need for direction or the ever-creeping sense of fear. I have committed to memory the parts of you I loved and those I wish I could be rid of. I know now that those parts are gone. The places once bustling with life are now retirement homes of these childhood, young adulthood huntings and memories that shaped me. I am stuck in the past on the south and el norte and afraid of crossing this gargantuan bridge to the other side, where this place I have called home for over a decade lies. I wonder, how long does it take for the dust to settle in, for new memories to be made, for this feeling of estrangement to be gone so I can finally feel like I am home? Escribo desde un lugar de nostalgia, lentes de color sepia, tiñendo el trayecto del norte a sur, sur a norte, de ida y vuelta por tantos años que ya no tengo un lugar al cual llamar casa. Soy un viajero constante, el fantasma de este umbral forastero y residente, parte de, aparte de este vago recuerdo de pertenencia, estoy épocas removido. Casita linda, ya no te reconozco, así como ya no conozco las casas pegadas las unas a las otras de tu cuadra, esas estructuras laberínticas de calles y colonias, gentes y pandillas que solían navegar sin necesidad de dirección, o la siempre creciente sensación de miedo. He memorizado las partes de ti que amaba y aquellos recuerdos de los cuales me gustaría deshacerme. Ahora sé que esas partes de ti se han ido. Los lugares, una vez llenos de vida, ahora son casas de retiro de las memorias de la niñez y adultez, fantasmas y recuerdos que me vieron crecer. Estoy atrapado en el pasado, up south, en el norte, y con el miedo a cruzar este puente gigantesco al otro lado, donde este lugar que he llamado casa por más de una década se encuentra. Me pregunto, ¿cuánto tiempo durará el polvo en asentarse? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevará a crear nuevos recuerdos? ¿Cuánto tiempo para que este sentimiento de extrañeza se desvanezca? ¿Cuánto tiempo para que finalmente pueda sentirme como si estuviera en casa? So that was one. And I have this last one, it's new, first in Spanish and then in English. It's called Rechazo. Sorry. Here. La tinta roja fluye de la punta de los pies hasta pintarme la nuca, visión de túnel fijada en labios sin palabras reemplazados por las propias, retumbando en la cabeza. No perteneces, no lo mereces, nada vales. La tinta roja es reemplazada por agua salada, mordisqueando las cornisas de los ojos, amenazando con escapar, reventar frente a las palabras inexistentes del rechazo. Silencio. Asiente. Rebaja a quien eres para que no noten esas lágrimas, para que la voz no escape e invente excusas o devuelva el veneno. Silencio. Ya no regreses al terminar de vaciar el agua salada desbordando de los ojos. Silencio. Escucha las voces dentro y planea tu escape. Red ink flows, tip of toes and paints my head tunnel vision fixed on speechless lips, replacing words with the ones rumbling inside. You don't belong. You don't deserve. You are worth nothing. Red ink replaced by salt water biting the corners of my eyes, threatening an escape, burst open the gates in the face of silent words spoken inside my head. Silence, not. Reduce who you are so that tears go unnoticed, so that the voice does not escape and creates made-up excuses or returns the poison. Silence. Why don't you run away? Why return after pouring out salt water overflowing? Silence. Listen to the voices inside and plan your escape. And that's it.
Yeah, and it's been so long since I've said this. That was not just it, that was everything. Lee, how can people support your work? I know you got the cool graphics and everything. Point us the way.
So you can follow me on Instagram at cadáveres_literarios, or you can also find me on Facebook as Lee Martinez Soto.
Awesome, excellent. And once again, I hope that maybe this October we can do some birthday celebrations. Even if it doesn't happen around that time, we can figure out some cool readings to celebrate Wonder Twin birthday, Kit and Lee. But also, if anyone wants to do some writing, right, of the Calaveras, or what was it, Calaveras Literarios, and that'd be really cool. We can share the video too from last time, but that'd be so cool. Anyway, thank you, Lee. I'm glad you made it back safe, and yeah, we got more show left. In fact, I posted the list there. Right now Vanessa was talking about Seattle, and we're gonna go to Seattle and visit a friend that we have not seen in a good while. So he wrote he's gonna share some original noise, and in the bio he wrote, half of the time I think I'm crazy, and the other half I know it. It's been a while. Let's make some noise for Seattle's worst singer and drummer. That's how he signed up. I'm not calling him that. That's just how he signed up. Mahal, what's going on, man? Go and take it away.
Hello, peoples. No, it's not Kanye. Please don't associate me with him. Some check. Like, I'm going to play drums. Am I supposed to stick the microphone in to make it easier?
I don't. Interesting. I don't know if we've come to this. Let's find out.
All right. Let's see. Ole piomba, ole bomba, ole piomba, vaya por la sombra. Is that okay?
I think so.
Okay, then I
thumbs up. You guys, yeah, you guys are able to hear that. Cool. All right, awesome.
Right, let me position myself, sort of. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been wherever. I'm gonna probably play a medley of a few songs that I've written. Bomba's an Afro-Puerto Rican genre. Okay, we got a few minutes. Most of her, like reggaeton. The reggaeton, most of the roots of the rhythm of reggaeton that he had in Puerto Rico came from this traditional genre of music called bomba. This is what the drum looks like, and it's called a barril. It looks like a barrel because, like, when we're enslaved, they knew that we spoke through the drum, the people that enslaved us. So the drum was outlawed, and so we said, "Okay, you outlaw our drum," but we were working on the sugar. We were enslaved. When we were enslaved, we were forced to work on sugarcane plantation. And so the barrels are where the rum went, and also was where the garbage went and all those kinds of things. So we said, okay, you're gonna outlaw our drum. We're gonna remake our drum. And so we, with the stuff you forced us to have, we're gonna remake it. So we remade it, and it was used as a form of communication. You know, like in many places, those that us who were enslaved, we weren't allowed to like learn to read or write for a sec, right? Same as in the States. So we communicated lots of our daily goings on and lots of rebellion, all those kinds of things through our drum. So also during the last, like the hurricane from 5 years ago, when all the lights were out in Puerto Rico and it stayed out for many places, it never really came back. But one of our ways was organized, and whenever we organized, we used this art form called bomba to communicate and organize and things like that. Anyway, enough talking. So I'll play like maybe one song or two songs that I've recently written, and then I'll leave. Anyway, it's like all arts, it's a form of release. So I guess I'll start with a heavy one first. This is dedicated, this was written when my elder cousin, who guided me when I was a little kid, when I found out he passed away, and I couldn't be there. And I just started playing and the words came to me. So it's like the song wrote itself to me. Buen amigo, hacia otros mares, estaré contigo, Manzanares, se me fue buen amigo, ahora párenos, ahora me despido con un triste adiós, se me fue, con su sabiduría, se me fue, existe la tumba fría, se me fue, y ahora párenos, se me fue, un triste adiós, se me fue mi buen amigo, hacia otros lares, no estaré contigo, Manzanares, se me fue mi buen amigo, ahora párenos, ahora me despido, triste adiós, se me fue, sabiduría, triste la tumba fría, se me fue, ahora párenos, se me fue, adiós, se me fue, amigo, otros lares, no estaré contigo, Manzanares, fue mi buen amigo, ahora párenos, ahora me despido, triste adiós, se me fue, con su sabiduría, se me fue, existe la tumba fría, se me fue, y ahora párenos, se me fue, triste adiós. So there's one, and if there's one time for another, I'll do another. If not, another time.
I mean, I was feeling it. We can do one more. I was not in my head in agreement. So yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's see. All right. This is just a little not so heavy one. It's Bomba. Bomba is a bombazo is like a place where everybody gets together in a circle and gathers. And so this one is about time. It says is noche en un bombazo. So in a bombazo, basically in English, rough English translation, I went to a bombazo, community gathering, saw my girl dancing with another one. And this is about that. But it's light. It's light. So oh, and the first song was it's called Yuba rhythm is for more deep things, and it's song that when it's danced, it's basically danced by the elders of the community, people with life experience, and more this. The one I'm going to play now is Sikka, which is when you hear bomba, is and most parts of Puerto Rico, because we have a few regions where we play slightly different, but in most parts of Puerto Rico, Sikka is a place where this is the rhythm that you're most likely going to hear. All right, here we go. So. Encontré a mi negrita bailando con otro. Ya no conoce, me quita. Y a mi negrita me dejó. Mi negrita se me casó. Mi negrita me voló. Mi negrita, ay, oh no. Anoche en el compaso encontré a mi negrita bailando con otro. El dolor se me quita y a mi negrita me dejó. Mi negrita se me casó. Mi negrita me voló. Mi negrita, ay, oh no. Anoche en el compaso encontré a mi negrita bailando con otro. El dolor no se me quita y a mi negrita me dejó. Mi negrita se me casó. Mi negrita me voló. Mi negrita, ay, oh no. Anoche en el bombazo encontré a mi negrita bailando con otro. El dolor no se me quita y a mi negrita me dejó. Mi negrita se me casó. Mi negrita me voló. Mi negrita, ay, oh no. Noche en el bombazo. Bailando con otro. Se me quita, y a mi negrita me dejó, mi negrita se me casó, mi negrita me mudó, mi negrita no paso. Negrita, se me quita, mi negrita me dejó, mi negrita se me casó, mi negrita me mudó, mi negrita no. Yasta. Thanks for having me. Yes, awesome, man. And it's been voted. You're not Seattle's worst anything. All right, settled. Thank you for joining us. Much love. Thanks for having me. Thanks for putting this on.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to drop any links if you have any in the chat, so we can follow you or just catch up with you. All right. Cool. Thank you. Let's go ahead and replace the spotlight, as Kit said. All right, I did it right. I did it. I replaced the spotlight quickly. Okay, so we're gonna keep going because we still got people waiting so patiently. In fact, people on the East Coast, I know it's like past bedtimes and stuff, so I appreciate your patience. Next up, we got one short poem for Donna, all the way from the Bronx, NYC. That's right, it's RMT at the place to be. It's Ron Mark Thompson. How's it going, Ron? Thank you for waiting. Appreciate you.
No problem. Happy to hang out here with everyone. And yeah, I just want to, I know you many times read a cover poem from other poets. We heard Elizabeth and others read some of Donna's poems today. I had the privilege of meeting Donna Snyder online, I think 2 or 3 times when I attended Tumblewood's projects, workshops. And I remember the very first time I came into Zoom, I didn't realize that you get numbered automatically, but she corrected me and she's like, this is how it's done, and I'm like, I'm sorry, nobody explained it to me, but she's been very gracious ever since, and I really appreciated how she has all these guest hosts, guest teachers instructing every week a new workshop. So I'm very happy that Kit is continuing her legacy and will continue the Tumblewords project workshops on Saturday afternoons. I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, my schedule doesn't allow me to be always there online on Saturdays. Like this Saturday, I can't. I'm actually working in Manhattan. And the following Saturday, when Michael Schindler guest hosts, I'm attending an event, but I'll try to make it thereafter. So I actually, during the open mic here, I bought her book, the paperback version of The Tongue Has Secrets. And I also did the suggestion from both Richie and Kit that the newest poetry and story collection, which is as meaningful as any other. You can get the Kindle version for free. So I downloaded that one. And I'm going to read one short poem that I found, which is called Carnal Prayer. If somebody else already read that earlier today, I apologize. I don't want to impose, but this is my interpretation. And I just love the shortness and the sweetness of this poem from her book. And apparently the book, looking through it, it's like a collection of some of her poems and essays and some of the artwork as well. So I'm really looking forward to, go through it from beginning to end. But here it is, Carnal Prayer by Donna Snyderm. A stock pond of clear water reflects a willow to show me the way. Mock orange reminds me of love below a pitched tin roof. I dabble fingers to refract harsh Texas sunlight like fluted tin, search for stones to slip in my pocket, finger a carnal prayer. Endless repetitions of skin on stone soothe me for a little minute. I turn my back on the balm of sweet water, lift my head to harsh truth. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the many great poems from Donna Snyder. Again, I'm looking forward to read the book from beginning to end, and the paperback, the other book that I bought, which I'll get delivered to the Bronx when it comes. So rest in peace, Donna, my condolences, and thank you again for giving us Tumbleweed Project and for introducing it to an international audience during the pandemic. And that's how I got to meet Donna. I think it was last year, the first time I attended. So thank you, Richie, and thank you, Kit, for continuing. Looking forward to many more great workshops. Thank you, guys. That's it from me.
Yeah, man. As I said earlier with Lee, that was not it. That was everything. Thank you for sharing that. Those great words, and I'm glad you jumped on. In fact, we just had, if I had Super Smash Brothers background music, I'd play a new challenger approaches. We just had Grown Man Speed add himself to the list, so we're gonna fit him in there. But right now, we're gonna keep going with the list as was shared. So next up, we're gonna stick around on the East Coast and visit Washington, D.C. Yeah, you know Eddie, right? Eddie P. Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and Eddie, are you with us? Are you still awake? There you are. Yay. Eddie P. All right, take it away, man.
You know me. All
right.
All right, my name is Ed Potastico. Feel fantastic. My name is Ed Potastico. Feel fantastic. Please get a time to John Rhyme for it. Feel sublime. Thank you, my brother. You know how to chime some rhymes. Woo! All the time. Woo! This poem goes out to a very woman that we know, Miss Donna. She was a wonderful woman, very strong, very intelligent, and very potastic. I hope we already know her spirit will rest in eternal peace. This is called Grey Haven. So you sailed away to greener days. What can I say? You are my way. Now I'm astray, basking in your ray, drinking the frigid gray, heart empty alleyway, cracking the clay of tears I couldn't slay. I pray and pray and pray that you're A-OK. You quickly decay, memories won't sway, living for you every day. You won't fade away. So here, now, and today, let's enjoy, live, and play. Now you're on full display. You don't have to fly away. So rest in eternal peace. All right. I got 3 poems. My first poem is called Motherly Love. When I was a boy, you're my nurse, teacher, and friend. Now that I'm older, I still can't fully comprehend. How can one woman always be there for me? She did what she could, even I could see. We're the fruit while moms are the trees. Moms are always the busy of the worker bees. There is no love like a mother's heart, a love that lives and breathes in our art. A mother's love never changes for all time. It always gets stronger and stronger while it shines. Moms need to be celebrated each and every day. Without them, where could we run, stay, or play? If you don't have your mom, but only your dad, it's okay. Love them too and don't be sad. Hearts full of devotion, dedication, affections that never ends. A river of love always flows over, and over again. We're a big part of her while she's a big part of you. I think that's why we're red and rarely blue. Mom, you're not just my mother, but my dad. You're an experience that any could ever had. Moms, thank you for not stop loving us. Don't worry, all this love is going to make us bust. Moms, there are no easy words for how much we love you. Hope these words resonate and stick inside you like glue. All right, got one more. This is called Guy's Love. You possess an undefined, natural, organic beauty. You dance around the bright sun on appointed duty. Your eyes are the Great Lakes covered in sparkling blue. Your tears are sweeter than strawberries, blueberries, and honeydews. Your body is a wonderland full of sublime and wonderful delights. You give us warming sunlight for our darkest nights. Your skin is earthly, smooth, and grounded in the vast desert. You just give, and give till it hurts. Your children are the vivid, rooted, and fluorescent trees and flowers. They stand healthy, rooted, and stern with unique powers. Your age is vast in the far reaches of dark space. I didn't say ancient. Oh, wait. Is that a teardrop or a river flowing across your face? You're more powerful than any earthquake, tsunami, or hurricane. You bear with our toxic fumes, endless cuttings, and rumbling pains. Your rage is a roaring, unpredictable, and screaming volcano spewing molten lava. Sometimes you create clouds dropping clear, refreshing, and rejuvenating Java. Your love is surreal, generous, and deeper than our babe blue skies. You feed, nurture, and grow us, your pesky flies. Hope this poem does you justice because it's coming from a microscopic soul. Thank you for the gifts of diamond, ruby, irons, titaniums, copper, silver, and gold. Thank you. I got one more. Woohoo! This is called Feminine Flower. Please see me. Please don't weed me. Please grow me. Please don't shrink me. Please hold me. Please don't pluck me. Please light me. Please don't shadow me. Please water me. Please don't dry me. Please feed me. Please don't starve me. Please rain on me. Please don't storm me. Please soul me. Please don't pest me. Please shine me. Please don't hide me. Please root me. Please don't cut me. Please love me. Please don't hate me. Please nurture me. Please don't eat me. Please support me. Please don't deny me. Please strengthen me. Please don't weaken me. Please flower me. Please don't deflower me. Please protect me. Please don't harm me. Please heat me. Please don't chill me. Please spread me. Please don't drought me.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Ed. Awesome. Appreciate your presence.
I
As
appreciate
always, man, your bright smile. You already know, man. What am I going to ask you?
You're gonna ask me, well, you already know where you're gonna ask me where can they follow me, and I have to say we're all gonna know. Come to the show and please, please, please shine your whimsical and your potastic or your musical glow. So but you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. If the mic is right, I'll be there to shine my potastic insight. If you're sending me a question, you take guest. The answer is yes. I hope everyone stay positive, safe, and blessed, and never stop singing or speaking the wonderful words outside your chest, and never stop feeling and doing and working your best.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ed. And also, for any events you got going on, feel free to share that in the chat. Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Once again, shout out to everyone on YouTube. I didn't give a shout out to Andres, but he tuned in a little bit earlier, especially during Lee's set. So it's always great to see Andres. I know you're really busy with work and everything, so hopefully it's going well for you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna stick around in DC. Our next performer makes literal art from words. That's right. He makes multilingual kilograms. That's right. I'm gonna use that in my next rap song. But for now, let's go ahead and welcome Parquillian to the stage. What's going on, Lauren? Good to see you again.
Hey, thank you, Richie. Great to see you again. Pardon me while I go off camera so I can actually see my phone here. Yeah, I've been loving all the poetry about Donna and from Donna. Definitely be missed. Wonderful person, poet, and mentor. And when my father passed a few years ago, this song came to me the night before, and later learned the title, which I didn't know the translation before, meant farewell. And so this Friday night, another song came to me, and the words of it started swirling in my mind during Tumble Words. And this didn't come to a prompt, so I didn't read it there, but this came out at Tumble Words. And it's called Haunting Symphony for Donna Snyder. Sorry, writing a poem earlier about another mentor of mine named Diana. So this is fairly short. I hear a haunting symphony through voices missing someone dear, who lifted others with the words she scrawled in notebooks lying here, still holding lines that float above the webs of grief this world has spun. To paraphrase that song's refrain, someday we will all be as one. Thank you. And then I've got another elegy here. This is for another mentor of mine. It's called Harold Miller's Tale. How are you, my boy? He'd greet me with warmth whenever we'd meet on the meeting ground, looking relaxed in his casual suit. On old wooden pews he'd often be found. The showers of April do herald the spring, and though the pipes he never played, he always enjoyed regaling us all with tales beneath the pen oak's shade. His voice ever full of theatrical charm, replete with that professorial tone, would ring with diction and earthy grace, and echo his heritage, Dickens' own. He minded the mill that sat on the hill, that ancient stone house by the one-lane bridge, which spanned the fabled Brandywine Creek, by the camp that wandered along the ridge, near where the scholarly woodchuck way and the paths by the cannery, now long gone, ran across the vale from another lane that passes by the stargazer's stone. He'd loved his wife of many years, with whom we'd study the biblical trove, with accent germane to her native land, in a room kept warm by a wood-burning stove. The elder of his daughters fair, a queen of the bees, at times was seen in playful garb before settling down in the town of the fruitful botanist queen. The younger one with pious name, a nascent crush did not requite. attending a Western school to the east. It kept her hands well out of sight. Some sadness did enter his jovial eyes, the leaving of his wife he did see, and the flight of his prodigal only son to a hangout of hamlets across the sea. Eliciting trips down memory lane across the breadth of London Grove's grounds, where he had recorded historical tales. His powerful laugh still clearly resounds. And this is in loving memory of Harold Miller, teacher of history and social studies and recorder of oral histories and lover of all literature. And thank you very much.
All right, excellent. And Martin, if you have any links, feel free to also share those in the chat so people can check out your stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, always parkpavilion.com. I've actually got my own clothing line too, sort of.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I remember that. Yeah. Share that on there. Appreciate it. All righty then. All right. We are going to okay, so we were DC back to back with that 1-2 punch. Now we're gonna head to the West Coast for a little bit of poetry and music, Chicano style, from Mr. Teso Somok, who also recently got the first part of his piece submitted or accepted. So congratulations on that. I hear my voice, so that means I'm gonna go ahead and mute. Take it away, Tez.
That was fast. Wasn't there someone else before me?
I mean, there's Grown Man Speed. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, roll him up.
All right,
Get
cool.
everybody. I have
All
2
right.
pieces in a song.
All right, so that
Don't
was a
smoke 'em, but just
false
roll 'em
start.
up.
Monday night, throw the flag, false start.
Hey,
Go back 15 yards.
roll them up. Don't smoke them.
Did I do that right, Kit? Did I do good? I'm kidding. Wait, travel. That's traveling. That's also false start. Wait, yeah, okay, cool. It's also my terrible dance moves. All right, let's go ahead and in that case, Grown Man Speed is in the house. He's got some poetry he'd like to share as well. Gregory Speed, what's going on, man? Are you still here with us? Welcome. Good to
Yes,
see you.
I'm still here. Another false start, but I'm gonna go though.
All right, man. Go ahead, take it away. It's all you. I love it.
So yeah, R.I.P. Donna, and I also lost a family member this week, and so I wrote something. I was requested to write something for my great auntie, and so I wrote something. I'm gonna share it. Here goes. You stopped by to see me inside of my dreams this morning. Came by to see me one last time before you had to go on home. Traveling at the speed of light, life quickly passes us by while we grasp at imaginary straws, attempting to catch lightning wool placed inside of bottles, many memories being created. Kodak moments we've recorded, we receive and place in our minds. And then in the blink of an eye, we find ourselves asking questions like, where does all of our time go? Where do we go from here? Your time here on earth, your time here on this earth was done, so you had to leave. It was time for you to move on. I'm so grateful you came to visit me as we shared our last conversation. I truly feel undeserving. You were so vivid inside of my dream. I remember hiding my face inside of my hands. I didn't want you to see me crying as we shared our final goodbye. I knew you had to leave us traveling at the speed of light. You'll be gone from eyesight, but your soul and spirit will live on inside of our hearts and minds. I'm feeling lost without you, and yet they tell me you're in a much better place. But about you, I am selfish. And being completely honest, I'm not even ready to let go. So I'll hold on to the memories during the most trying of times, remembering how you always seem to see me Even when I didn't see myself, you saw a creative inside of me. You always seemed to see me, and I'm truly grateful for that. As I write you this goodbye, my heart is a little bit broken. My eyes are filled with tears, my mind fixed on the prize. Where do we go from here with all of these memories which are vividly still alive? And in closing, I can only say thank you. Thank you for being you unapologetically. Thank you for seeing me unconditionally. And thank you for loving me unequivocally. In peace. Appreciate you, brother.
That was a lovely tribute. Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, she was in the hospital when I was back in North Carolina to visit my dad, who had surgery for diabetic condition. And then, yeah, so she passed a few days before Miss Donna.
My condolences.
Thank you.
Right, Gregory,
I appreciate
Grown Man Speed. Yeah. Can people find? Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Grown Man Speed and Facebook at Gregory Speed Senior.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Right.
And I
Thank you,
gotta
guys.
share. Yeah, thank you. I gotta share everyone's links on the YouTube as well. I kind of got there was a point where I was like so into like listening to everyone that I forgot to participate in the live chat. So people were like, "Yo, where's the link? Where the links at?" So yeah, my bad, live chat. But yeah, Grown Man Speed, go check it out. Martin Perquillian's got his website as well. So does Vanessa. So yeah, man, I want to get you guys sharing your stuff as well. All right. So yeah, we introduced him right now as like a little sneak preview, and he has been featured. In fact, his artwork is featured in Donna's book, As Meaningful as Any Other. Let's go ahead and welcome for real this time to Sosomok. Go and take it away, my friends.
All right, Richie. Condolences to the community, and I'll talk a little bit about on the next piece about that book, putting together that book with Donna. So this piece is titled When You Run Out of Enemies. Violence and enmity are constant companions of human history and society, but the concept of the enemy remained outside the focus of political philosophy and was subject to only sporadic consideration. Predrag Petrovich. Hate, that which we feel towards our enemy, that which we inculcate in our children, intentionally or via cultural semiotics or not, derives from our relationships, our contingent important others, our loved objects of proximity. This means that hatred, enmity are integral parts of our lives. They are within us from early stage, expressed towards people with whom we interact. Such intense conflicts arise within a family, between siblings, between parents and children. These tend to be easily felt and expressed vis-a-vis between spouses, between neighbors, between different subgroups within a culture, between rival organizations, school, work, hospital, universities at all, and even between countries or nations. In the face of an enemy, I experience fear. In the face of a stranger, I experience anxiety. If an enemy did not exist, it would have to be necessary to invent one, said Nietzsche. It's the diagnosis of the stranger anxiety with an onset at about 8 months, the cognition that an unknown face is looking back, causing a burst of uncontrollable crying, expressing unhappiness over the discovery. Notice, not necessarily over the stranger. The affect at proximity, the stranger of contingent imminent locality. Every single person forms a phenomenological cosmos of meaning, intentionality, and relations of desire and recognition. Existence as an unrepeatable concatenation coming into being from within existence itself here. There is no transcendence, only an absolute immanence. We're not in something to something. It does not depend on an object or that we belong to a subject. When the subject or the object falls outside of immanence, it's taken as a universal subject or any object to which immanence is attributed. It becomes distorted, vulnerable to disposition, for it finds itself enclosed in the transcendent. Is the stranger the enemy, or the enemy the stranger? The anxiety of the stranger, the fear of the enemy, uncertainty and tension of what is other and different. The resolute strangeness taken for granted every day, straddling between philosophical and psychoanalytic threats. Do we fight or flight? What will resolve our threat, our response to fear, our response to anxiety? The threats that take many forms: one's personal well-being, one's self-esteem, one's identity, and one's way of life. We must move beyond the conflation of difference, of anxiety of strangers as fear of enemies. The Zygmunt Bauman's distinction between enemy and stranger, between fear and anxiety, between existential and psychoanalytical. In a social regime where a logic of identity, the conception of group identity is essential or substantive, and enemy is someone who accepts the same terms of reference as we do, but who takes an oppositional stance. A stranger is someone who does not share the same horizon of intelligibility, whereas enemies are flawed friends, strangers are undecidables. Failing the binary oppositionality of the logic of identity, enemies share common boundaries. We share the same appreciation of the rules. We meet our friends at the other side of responsibility, our enemies at the point of the sword. My friends and enemies are contingent, proximal, local, and visceral. There are no clear rules for meeting a stranger. The stranger can't be the enemy. The stranger shares no boundaries, not even the same rules governing interaction. The stranger remains a constant threat, but to our world order, or to my way of ordering the world. The stranger deprives me of all psychological security. Fear is feeling of being threatened and anticipation of physical injury by a recognizable external object. Anxiety, a threat, but in absence of a specific object of attack. Fear is the ability to focus on a particular agent that threatens. Anxiety can't focus on a particular threatening object. One feels threatened, but there is no thing. There is neither no thing or am I in two minds. Attracted and repelled, excited and fearing, desiring and resisting an object. Am I projecting ambiguity from my unconsciousness onto the stranger? For it is only in the encounter with the stranger where I experience ambiguity. It exists in the very relationship between us. Strangeness is not a quality within or of the stranger. It is the other as seen from my perspective. Fear is an object directed either fight or flight. By removing the threatening object, we remove the experience of being threatened. But anxiety is objectless. Both fight and flight are powerless in the face of anxiety. Anxiety strives to become fear because fear can be met by courage. A finite being can't stand naked anxiety. The white South African, it created ghettos for the blacks, turned South Africa into a ghetto where he lives, cut off from Africa and the world. The deployment of empty signifiers via ideology, the stranger is conflated to the enemy to provide the false psychological closure that anxiety retains open. We are a nation that from its inception has always had an enemy. Red strangers, brown strangers, sand strangers, jungle strangers, ghetto strangers, colorized strangers. If we fall for the discourse of translating anxiety into fear, it's because our identity is constructed out of semiotically slippery categories that fail this world. When the stranger refuses to be the enemy, when we run out of enemies, we turn on ourselves. So Donna's last book was a project that she summoned me more like it to help her out with it, and so we started going over a lot of the poems, and then I started to produce some artwork for her, and then she really liked it, and then that I think I have a surplus of about maybe 40 or 50 more images that were candidates for the book, and then we picked the best. But I always talked about, with my years of doing poetry and working with poets, that I always talk about like 4 reductive categories that I use, what I call puppy poets, then I call trauma porn poets, and then erasure poets, and then finally what I call the poetic, the prophetic poet. And I think this last book of Donna was very much a prophetic piece of work, and I mean, it just felt from the very beginning, working on it, that it was such. And after her surgery, we had a discussion about it, and she said, yeah, I mean, it was just like her whole body was screaming out in this kind of enunciative format, and it's interesting, and it was a very prophetic piece of work, and it's very challenging to be confronted with that existential situation, and so she really liked my I'm Not Your Chihuahua series, and she was very, very endeared with it because it reminded her of her ex-husbands, the way they lived their life, or the way their existential reality. So I did part 7. It's not very long. I'm Not Your Chihuahua, Radical Rabies, Rabia Radical. I'm not Juan Colorado, nor even El Aventurero, not even your Cuaco, El Huracán. We are rabid rancheros enunciating a strategy between postmodern, post-colonial concerns, a dominant normative discursive formations. We are in the metan commentary and the metan articulación, the cultural identity of outrage, sadness, cynical humor, wry discursive practices, traversing the borderlands. No longer in Chicomostoc, the 7 caves of Aztlan, nor the archaeological sites of La Quemada in Zacatecas, Mexico, nor the celestial Alta Vista Observatory located in Chalchihuites, Mexico, AD 100. Located near the Tropic of Cancer, one of the main astronomical observatories in Mesoamerica. Perfect observation of the sun equinoxes and the solstices as you mow the leaves of grass by the hills of Chapin, Pedregoso, and Picacho. Now, the nomadic roach coach Aztlan that centers Chicano cultural and political practices can be found on any main thoroughfare with their power obelisks of propane tanks, always desiring our lunches with the burrito mechas, with the nostalgic bottle of Coca-Cola with the flip cap, not twist off, with real sugar and bottled in Mexico only. The lingering desire to remend history, to reconnect, to go back to an original moment, not to linger beyond death on occupied territory, to be finally buried in Itech, Notlaltzin, Tlalpachiwi, Ipan Terra Nostra. Tlalpachiwi is to be embraced by the earth. Like the 8 million from the smallpox in 1520 to the 15 million from Salmonella enterica known as paratyphi C in 1545 to the final collapse of 2 million in 1776. Such is the rabies that bites and spreads frothing radicalness in the streets, in the hearts, and the confrontations. In peace. And I think Donna wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Thank you. All right. Did you also want to promote your stuff online too?
Yeah, thank you. I had a cough a little bit. I ran out of spit, believe it or not. Yeah, so as you saw, Lee and I are going to be on the Arabian Press anthology for the Borderlands. They are publishing my part one, both in English and in Spanish. And then I know she also is getting some stuff published on there, so I'm really happy to be in good company. Just there should be a press release coming from the Chicago Diaspora, the Diaspora Slam. So I will be representing Chicanos in the Mexican Slam competition in November during Thanksgiving. So that's a scary thought. Since I'm an old man and I'm like going to be running up against all young kids. So we'll see how that goes. But so lots of good stuff. I've gotten a lot of good videos done and a lot of good artwork. And like I said, you know, the collaboration with Donna was something else in the sense of a kind of a closure book, and it was a good experience for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks again for sharing that. And yeah, that's gonna live on. Appreciate it. All right. Guys, we are reaching the end of the mic. Dang it, I need effects, because if I had an effects board, that's where I would have done like an echo. The end of the mic. But before we can end it, it's only possible with the generosity and goodwill of our last performer that we're able to even end it. Otherwise, we'd be stuck in a loop. Ladies and gents, beautiful MBs, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage the one, the only Dan the Man. Dan, take it away. It's all you. Dan, it sounds like you're underwater.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's way better.
There you
Hold
go.
hold
Talking
the
to
mic
the
right there.
mic. Okay. Yeah, we're very, very sad to hear our beloved founder of Tumble Project, our very own Donna. Very stunned. I never got a I had a chance to get I just hope crying out loud. Can you still hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Okay. You still hear me?
Yeah, we can. I just think that maybe the cable it messes up when you move it a lot. So just try and keep it stable. But we can hear you. It's better. No, it's better when you were holding it up. I just think you were kind of moving a lot, so it probably was cutting out.
Sorry. Okay. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. I'm gonna share a couple of pics. 1 second. Come on, I want to. Come on, I have a couple of pics of Donna Snyder I want to share.
Yeah, man, go for it. You can share them.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, as y'all remember, I think it was back was back 5 years ago in 2017. Yeah, we're at the time where I think it was Santiago's birthday. It was the Rock House Cafe and Gallery located at the Durangoncito. Yeah.
Duranguito.
And that's where Duranguito, yeah, located on Overland and Leon Drive. And that was at Chihuahuas was playing. And man, it was beautiful. Brought some good times. And that was the first time. That was the first time I saw Donna Snyder reciting her poetry. It was nice. I'll never forget that. Hey, Richie, you were there too. I remember. That was good.
I'd like to think so. It was my open mic.
Well, yeah, because you were there, but I know Santiago was hosting this one. And the only picture we had. Yeah, this was the only picture me and Donna we had. I know it was sometime during COVID-19. We had to still wear a mask. You know, I wish I was there a month ago. If my wrist wasn't that messed up, I would have been there. And I would have saw Donna's. I would have asked if there's a chance I want to do a special edition interview with her and talking about her recent at least the last will be the last book she published. Yeah, but I'm hoping one day I'm gonna read that book, and if I have enough money, I want to purchase that one. Again, okay, I'm not trying to move the cord, but can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah,
Oh.
but like I said, it keeps cutting out.
Okay, well, and you know, yeah, I cannot believe this. And you know, it sometimes on some of the birthday tributes, I mentioned her respectfully, and on the honorable mentions, I always wrote Donna Snyder, the founder of Tumbleweeds Project, and I also mentioned her on my long list of shout outs. Donna Snyder, the founder of Tumbleweeds Project. And yep, this is it. Tumbleweeds Project. Yeah. I remember taking a couple of screenshots. I think it was 2 years ago. I cannot believe she's gone, but she will never be forgotten. Her outstanding writings, her outstanding performance, and her readings, amazing poetry. She was always, will always remember. I'm sad she's gone. Well, my condolences to Robin and those we know her very well. So you, Richie, best. Farewell, farewell, Donna. It was an honor. It was an honor meeting her. Her amazing years. It was nice that I got a chance to help her for long years, for a couple of years. Well, kind of in tears, but it was an unexpected tough year. I respect the death of people. Well, always are, and especially my thoughts out to her family. So, so I'm sorry I never got a chance to be on the Tumbleweed project on the Saturdays. It's a long story. I wanted to be there. I tried to be time. You know, was I was planning. I was prepared to the the John Care by John up for October. I'll get that. I'll get to that next Monday. So as of now, we are agreeing on the
You're cutting out a lot, Dan.
not again.
It's been pretty consistent. Like we hear you little here and there.
I'm not trying to move. I'm not trying to move.
Got the hiccup loud and clear.
Right. Okay, here it is. Read it and weep it. Yeah, I'm behind posts on Twitter and Facebook. I'm still catching up on Instagram. Thank you. All right, and yeah, I'm currently and I'm still editing on the last Saturday's going, but I'm gonna mention Donna on my next regular blog, possibly on my next poetry slam. The scenes of my poetry slam. Just find Dana Man's with me on YouTube. And especially, it was so nice of Donna for supporting my blogs through the years. It was so nice of her. I thank her for her support. I appreciate that. And, yeah, and every time I post it on Facebook, I mention for Tumbleword, and she's thank you. So nice. God rest her soul. Okay, I think I run out of words. Well, let's go ahead. I'm gonna call it a night. Stick around for the after party. Okay, Rich. Anything will be nice. I'll something close to 9. Something to make Donna proud. That
Hold on. Yeah, sorry, Dan. We couldn't hear you like at all during that. So appreciate you though. Thanks for sharing all that. Shout out to everyone who checked out the stream today. If you're still here for some magical reason and you're here from EPCC, or you just fast forwarded all the way to the end of the show, you guys can get a hold of me right here on Instagram, Deadwall Reveries. You can also send me an email. The link is in there. I have like my link tree with everything, like my email, any links, and I'll send you the code for the Tejano passport. But we're going to go ahead and close up the night. We'll be back next week. As always, be on the lookout for the sign-up sheet. We put it online, Barbed Wire Open Mic. Follow us on social media. Follow Tumblewords Project. And again, shout out to all the love we got to experience these last couple of days. You know, everyone who shared their stories of Donna, with Donna, inspired by Donna. And as was alluded to, we will hang out for a little bit in the after party. So if you guys want to join us, you're more than welcome to. If you were like really shy and didn't want to share your poetry on our YouTube live stream, you're more than welcome to join us as well on the Zoom call afterwards and share anything you wanted to share. That is not streamed at all. So we just kind of hang out. We talk till pretty much there's like a couple people left standing, and we just kind of pass out from exhaustion to stare down. All right. I don't know. That's dramatic. Anyway, for the live stream, my name is Rich. See you guys next week. Peace.